Hello, YouTube. What is going on, everybody who is real out there, the handful of you? Because who knows? YouTube's weird, full of demons, AI, and paid shills, that's for sure. So I just would like to make sure that I do differentiate the handful of you out there. YouTube says 15,000. I don't think so. I think more like four. Okay, could be way off on this. All right, but this is just me throwing this out there. I wouldn't make this video if it wouldn't have come up a third time. Because once I see like three different signs, at least what is in my crazy perception, that's when I say, okay, I feel like there's something to it. But boy, I have been wrong before. So the first time I saw it was with this doggy coin, right? I'm not going to go through all these things. It's not going to show. I'm too lazy today. I don't feel like it. Taking the day off for the most part. Going to do some reading later. But done. Except for this little bit here. And maybe one more video today. Who knows? So the doggy coin, right? Surely you heard about that. Oh, God. I could go on and on about Elon Musk. Because it was his fault that it got thrown back out there real bad again. But anyway, so this doggy coin, which is like this digital stupid thing, or crypto, or whatever. Okay, but anyway, it's been around for a while. It's not like it was just created this year. Was that the first time? That was the first time, right? Yes, that was the first case. So that was what, like last month or January. Okay. So I noticed that. I said, okay, so anytime I hear the word dog or I see the word, and the reason why it was a big deal to me is because I go to the Drudge Report, that's one of the few actual websites I check, just because I like it because you can literally see almost everything that's happening all on one page. And that way I don't have to go through all these different places. I can just go right there. And it's also huge. It's one of the biggest websites, news websites on the net. So I feel like if they're going to show you something or they want something to be seen, it's going to be on that website too. Just like it is in all the news. The news is just propaganda, mouthpiece, predictive programming, propaganda, whatever, you know. So whenever I seen that, it was front page, like you click on there, biggest picture on there, doggy coin. Long time too. I think it was almost all day or maybe even longer than that. Maybe been up for a couple days. Can't remember. So I saw that and I said, okay, that immediately makes me think of Sirius. Okay, that's the dog star. That's where everything comes from in the Egyptian story. Sirius and then Ra and then everything after that. Okay. And also that's what the whole that's everything was based off Sirius. Their mummification process. They used that to tell when the Nile was going to rise and fall. So Sirius has always been associated with the mother or the waters, okay? Because that's what the whole Egypt thing is based off the Nile River, and that's her whole claim to fame and all that shit anyway, right? So anytime I see dog, I just immediately think of Sirius. And my brain immediately went to Blackout. And that's also because of the movie The Stand, the original one, where I've shown it several times now. Again, you can see this on YouTube for free. Just type in The Stand. The whole thing's there for free. And if you watch the first, 5 minutes of it, the whole movie's about a plague killing everybody off in the world pretty much. And then while they're showing in the movie, when the title sequence, the name of the movie, who is involved, the writers, directors, all that shit, they're going through like this facility. I can't remember. It's like a army base or even a medical facility. I don't know. But there's a TV on in the background. And there's a game show, and the game show is called Blackout. Okay? And then in this movie, the movie pretty much ends with the nuclear explosion out in Las Vegas, Nevada. So the movie shows, at the very beginning, a plague, a blackout, and then this nuclear explosion. I can't remember, whatever, a handful of days, weeks, months later, whatever, I don't remember now. So I've been looking out for this blackout since this stuff happened. Well, actually, since I rewatched that movie in November of last year or whatever. Funny too, because then here you go in Texas, but there's going to be more than that. There's going to be a bigger one than that. I mean, this is going to be the whole globe. We're going to let this one be almost 5 minutes. We're going to let this thing go a whole 15. Why not? So then next, I didn't say anything, of course. And And then the next thing was the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. All right. Now, as you can see, the sun, that is known by the number 19 or 91, or even, as you can see, it's 9/11. Now, I've talked about that a lot. I can go on forever about that. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But 9/11, 91, 19, that's the number of the sun. And Sirius is the real sun. The one you see out there is the copy every day that rises and sets. Because everything came from the real sun, Sirius. I've even shown you where like the Masons themselves say that they even taught the priests and stuff out there in Egypt, even told the people that. They said the sun you see out there is the sun, that's the main thing you want to worship, when they knew the real sun was Sirius. It was a secret. So when I see 1.9 trillion, I see doggy coin, I'm like, okay, it's really making me think that this blackout's probably going to take place sometime soon, and it's going to be something from the sun because the sun's been acting crazy. The sunspots and all that, we'll get into that a little bit more in that in just a minute. So then the third thing that happened was this crazy story about Lady Gaga and her dog being stolen. And that was the next thing that was on the Drudge Report, and that was plastered everywhere. So now I was like, okay, that's enough of that. And Dog Days of Summer, so if you're not aware of this, is where the whole name comes from. The actual dog days, or canicular, because it comes from Canis Major, just don't worry about that. The dog days are known as the dog days of summer, and they're defined from the period July 3rd through August 11th, when the dog star Sirius rises in conjunction, or nearly so, with the sun. As a result, the classical Greek and Roman belief was that the combination of the brightest luminary of the day, the sun, and the brightest star of the night, Sirius, were responsible for the extreme heat that is experienced during the middle of the northern hemisphere. So my guess, to me, and also they tell you anybody who was born from like July 3rd to like July 7th, 8th, or 9th, I think, are considered to be, you're going to be, you're a big deal, or you're going to do big things. That's what they said. The ancients and all, we're all the same shit that tells you all the dog days of summer, and the same people are saying this is super important, or say the same shit. It's a big time, apparently. And so it just makes me wonder if there's a big blackout plan for the summertime. And they're going to blame it on an attack, because the whole thing is they're trying to keep you from believing and understanding that this place exists, that this place is real, that it's alive. That's what's funny about this whole, everybody blaming or saying that space is fake and the stars and the planets and all that shit. I think you're going to have a different perspective on that. What are all those things? I don't know. But you're under the stars, therefore we are under the influence of the stars. I'm not going to argue that with anybody. Your time, everything you do is based off that. Besides, if the earth is alive, you can't have it one way and not the other. That's why it's as above, so below. Who are you to say that's not true? That's been around for thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years, because it's true. This place is it's all water. It's one big mirror. So are you trying to tell me that grass doesn't grow, that trees don't grow, that crops don't grow? So that's what you're saying, because you're saying that if this stuff isn't, you're saying you can't have the earth be alive and the heavens not. Like, what is the matter with you? That's just a fear thing. You're scared to death because it's outside your control. You got that right. You got that right, because your whole point of your life is to control yourself. Because that's all you can do. That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do. I hate that. They're just going to blame everything on all this shit, you know? Oh, terrorist attack. Oh, EMP. When I know this place is alive. But that's the trick. You literally watch trees grow every day. You watch flowers. You have to mow the grass every year. And you're like, nope. All that stuff above, fake, holographic projection, every bit of it. Nope, none of it's real. That's why I don't belong here, man. Everybody's weird. It don't make any sense. But yeah, could be wrong. We'll see. Do I have any more? Maybe I don't have anything else left to say. But I still really do think, and again, I could be wrong. I still really do think that something's going to happen between now and April. I don't know what, but I really do think that something's going to happen. Who is like Lindsey Graham even came out? I think it was. Don't quote me on that. But there was somebody in Congress, like one of our representatives, came out and said that he literally didn't, and this is like a quote, like he didn't think that Joe Biden was in charge. Well, and I know what that means. I know he's not, and even if he was actually like there, he's not. But you know what I mean. It's all so weird, man. So there, I don't know, but who knows? We'll see. It's not like it's out of the ordinary. Nothing in this place makes sense. But that's the thing. The whole, me saying with everything that's happening, that stuff, especially like with me telling you that Trump wasn't going to be there whenever the inauguration took place, one way or another. The whole point is, you see, that's the thing, is that this stuff wouldn't be happening if this other stuff wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's all part of it. Like I said, the razor wire fence doesn't set off any alarms to anybody. Like, that's just something. It's like, okay, that's. Do you think you're really that? I don't want to call you stupid, but you're that naive. Bad stuff hasn't happened yet. It really hasn't. How much do we have long? Yeah, I wonder if I could even do like the cosmic ray stuff. Probably not. Uh, yeah, yeah. I'll just leave it alone. So I guess we'll see what happens. In the next few weeks and months, and I think this summer, this extreme heat is interesting. Conjunction, the combination of the sun and Sirius were responsible for the extreme heat that is experienced during the middle of the northern summer. But this is all like on a cycle. So every time, every year, every season, every cycle, it just gets more intense until it just flips itself and resets and starts over. And that another thing too, I will say this. Okay, whenever into the people that don't understand this stuff and how the magnetosphere and all this shit works, because it does seem like mumbo jumbo whenever someone comes on here and says like the cardinal seasons, Earth, or excuse me, spring, summer, winter, fall, all that stuff, that the energy around there is more chaotic and it's more, it's increased, it's high, it's much higher level of energy. That sounds like mumbo jumbo, but that's like real, that's real, true story. It's the real deal, because it's whenever these seasons come, specifically like the equinoxes, okay? Specifically the equinoxes. Let's just leave it at that. Specifically the equinoxes, the magnetosphere opens up. And there's the actual Earth's magnetosphere cracks and opens up, and the solar wind, which that's the thing, it's the breath of life, people. That's what this whole place is sung into existence. It's the air. Whenever they say the Bible says the first thing was the word, they're not talking about the Bible. God didn't come out with the Bible. No, they're talking about the word, because this place was spoken. This place, or another story, sung into existence. It's called the breath of life. That's the sun. They call it the solar wind. They call this, everything comes from the sun. That's why the sun is worshipped. So the solar wind, the breath of life, literally upticks in these equinoxes and these seasons. So these signs like Cancer, which are the start of this new equinox, and Libra for fall, Capricorn for winter, and Aries for March. The energy is going to be crazy because they're cardinal seasons. The magnetosphere opens up. There's more of a transfer of energy from the Earth and the Sun and the atmosphere and the galaxy and all that shit. This place is alive, man. It's the breath of life. You read it every day. It's not the solar wind. This is all just one cover up, because we're all caught in this crazy love story that's manifested in this terrible, crazy, weird, but hopefully beautiful thing. I mean, we're hoping for a happy ending. Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. It can happen. I tell myself every day, we should just better to believe that.